All right, friends, welcome back. I'm the Zim. This is the Zim video, and this is the Art Professor's podcast because I'm the art professor, and you might be the art professor. We're all the art professor. It's the art professors, plural. So if you want to be a part of this conversation, jump in the comments of the YouTube video, especially, or you can email me or something, find a way to contact me. I'm all over the internet. I'm easy to find. Sometimes I post little segments of this full length podcasts on TikTok and sometimes Instagram, maybe. Depends. I don't know. Lately, I haven't really been doing that. The first bunch of episodes, I made sure to do that, but now I just publish the long form one. And if maybe I find something that I like, I'll throw it into a short form, minute long or something. But I did one on TikTok where it was like it needed like a longer, more than a minute for what I wanted to share for a small segment. So that's TikTok allows up to 10 minutes. Instagram is only 1 minute or a minute and a half, I think. And YouTube Shorts are only a minute, but this is on YouTube regular. So now you know. So I wanted to remind you, I'm the Zim. This is the Zim video. Like I said, I'm an art professor, like I said, but I teach right now at Northwest Missouri State University, teaching graphic design. I'm starting in my second semester there, second and last. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But before that, I was at San Diego State University teaching a few classes there. And then I went to grad school before that at San Diego State University. And long before that, I went to the University of Washington. Go Dogs! Going for the national championship in football. That's pretty cool, actually. I don't really watch college football, but I did watch the last game against Texas. And man, that last minute or last 40 seconds I was like, oh man, I thought there was a chance we could have lost that game. So, but we didn't. We're in the it would have been a bummer too because we were the better team, clearly the better team. And if we'd lost at that last little part, then it would have sucked. But we'll get to watch the champion. I don't know when the date is on that one, but yeah, we got some other things to talk about. One thing I wanted to mention for reminder of, I guess, in a way, is if you're just finding this for the first time, this is the 21st episode of this conversation I'm having. Sometimes we have actual guests on. It's happened a couple times, but most of them have just been solo casting, me telling you about my experience. I am I'm kind of new to the game, and maybe, hopefully the goal is to keep this podcast going for a long time, years, so that we can see the evolution. We can be a part of the evolution together. We can learn things. I can get advice from you if you've been at this game for a long time, or you can get advice from me if you're trying to think about a new way of doing things, or you're new to it yourself. I don't believe that experience is always a given to be the best scenario. I think every generation, every experience is a new one. Every moment in time is new. We're living through a evolution of what it means to even go to college. I was thinking about this yesterday or to this morning even. It's like the age that I am perfectly lands in the age of it's just never been able to get caught up with finances, basically, because the cost of everything is inflating faster than you can get caught up to it. And plus, I was never trained to have good money management. So it's just kind of like and now that I got what's the word they used? Master's degree, but a terminal degree in the field of art. I have the highest degree in the field of art, and it seems as though it's not enough to make. I went through the program, I got the degree, I'm teaching, I'm doing like what seems like should be like, oh, you should be well off. You should be able to have a comfortable life now. And it's just like, as so far, and we'll check. This is one of those stories, this is one of those ideas we'll check back in on as time goes on. It's depressing. It's depressing to think about how little you make versus how much it costs in the world, even though I'm at the top of what it means to do this. You know what I mean? And I understand Western society, American society doesn't value the arts. I understand that. So I'm fighting against that. But I also, if there was one space where the arts could make a living wage, it seems like what I'm doing should be it. And so far, I don't see that. That reality is not my reality. And I'm like, okay, interesting. So where we're at right now is just trying not to dwell on that idea and just trying to learn and grow and discover who I will be as an art professor and artist as I move forward. A couple of things. So what I wanted to say as well, if you joined in, this is your first time a part of this conversation with me, make sure you ask questions. Don't worry if I've talked about something already. I want you to ask me questions. I want you to go find, the best way would be to go to the YouTube video of it, because this is audio and video. I publish it on audio only places as well. So go find me on the Zim video on YouTube. I'll definitely subscribe there. I'm trying to get 100,000 subscribers. That's the goal. So maybe we can grab a couple extra subscribers from this content, depending on where you live. But go to the YouTube video and post a unique comment on any one of these Art Professor podcasts, and I will answer that question in the next one that comes up. That would be, for me, the easiest and best way. However, you can do it any way you want. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, email, and go, hey, I've been listening to your podcast, the Art Professors podcast. What do you think about this? I have a question about this. This is, whatever. If it can inspire something that I can talk about, that would be amazing. And I would love to investigate your idea if I'm not familiar with it, and then give you my thoughts. Or if I feel like I'm confident on the idea already, then I will just give you my thoughts right out the gate. So please do that for me. I would love it. And even if you're listening to this podcast and you're not an art professor or whatever, this is for everybody. This is not exclusively for art professors. This is for everybody to listen, to see what it's like. I think I have a few people that listen to this just because they're interested in my story as a human being, which this is part of it as well. But and I thank you for that. So that's cool. If you're just interested in what I'm doing, I have a lot of different places that I draw an audience from. I have my students at school. I have, my old art history. I have game streaming I do on YouTube. I have art making I do on and share on TikTok and Instagram. I have my Facebook, people I know in real life kind of audience. So there's lots of places to pull an audience from that might decide to check this out. So there we go. There's a lot today's going to be mainly an update of just what's been going on. Will be a little bit about actual specific art school, university professorshipness, but most of today will be just, here's a catch up, because I didn't record for like the last 2 weeks because we were on winter break. So I'll catch you up on winter break. Oh, reminds me, Merry Christmas to those of you that celebrate Christmas. Hopefully it was great. Merry and happy holidays to whatever other holiday you might celebrate during this time. Happy New Year. Hopefully you're good. If you're a New Year's resolution person, I hope you achieve all your resolutions. If you're not, then hey, that's all right. I'm not one, because the way I've been, especially this year and for the last couple of years probably, but especially this year, it's like I don't need them, because I'm every day is a moment, a chance for me to make my life better. And that's the way I try to do and think. I'm trying to continually grow and continually challenge myself to do better. Right now I'm on a diet trying to do it, and I think I've lost a little weight, which I'm excited about. I'm not trying to do it I have this pair, I'm wearing them right now actually, which is so it may be working because I'm sitting, in a chair with the pants on, that when I sat in a chair, they would just pinch my gut really hard, because there are 30 waist, which I've worn my entire life. And just the last few months, I couldn't really get them on. And I was like, okay, this isn't right. So I'm like, it was around Thanksgiving. No. Yeah, after Thanksgiving, around just the beginning of December, when school was ending, I started on this diet, which you can find out. I'll be sharing more about that on my channels, my outlets, when I'm at a point where I can show success. So, and I think I'm getting there, but I want to see more success than where I'm at right now. But basically, the bottom line is I can sit in these pants without them pinching, so that must be a good sign. So we're good there. So just that idea. Happy, I hope you achieve your New Year's resolutions if you do that. The first thing, most important, I guess, really, in a lot of ways, the most important for me is that we are going to be doing a live stream performance this summer. And as you see, those of you that are watching the video can see on my side here, I did 8 portraits of Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, 4 of each, for promo material for the exhibition. I've already started making posters. If you've been following me on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, you've been seeing me post the images of the posters I'm working on. They're still kind of in the draft space because we're still working on times of things. Like the last piece of information I really need is I'm working with the curator and the gallery, and if we're going to put a time for the closing and reception, what time that should be. It's going to be on a Thursday, May 30th. And should it be in the middle of the day? Should it be later? Because the gallery is open from 10 to 4 typically. So should it be within that window, or should we push it out later so like people can get off work and come to it? It'll be in the summer. I do have some friends in the area. I'm aggressively campaigning to and reaching out to advertise for it by reaching out to people. Like I already sent an email to a radio person, so maybe I can get a little interview on a radio station. I'm looking for, and this maybe you can help me, is I'm looking for other podcasts or things like that maybe I can get on and be interviewed in preparation, that kind of have as a focus on the Tennessee arts community or music or any kind of arts, really the Tennessee community, regardless of what it is. And I'm going to be doing that myself, the homework there, and sending out emails and those kind of things soon. But I'm also trying to get ready for school, which we'll talk about too. There's a lot going on that I'd like to do. Plus I've been gaming a lot, which I don't know if I should probably like put away the games for a little bit, but I do live stream the games, and it's the place on my live stream that brings me the most audience. So it's kind of a balance there. But I've been offline gaming is what I'm saying, is what I mean, is like, so non-live streaming, but, so there's been a lot going on. But anyways, yeah, I got these drawings made. So here's my pitch to you. If you want to help support the exhibition, you can buy one of these initial promo drawings I made. I have them listed right now for $250 on my Etsy shop each, so you can pick one up. The main thing that it would be paying for, if it needs to, would be lodging. So depending on how that works, but I did just get an email from the curator of the gallery saying that there is movement on campus housing, possibly being able to help that situation, but we don't know yet. So that to me, on the surface, it seems like it's going to be in the summer. There's got to be an empty dorm somewhere. There's got to be an empty dorm that I could just crash in for a month, 3 weeks, whatever they allow me. Because the exhibition's basically 3 weeks. Yeah, it's 3 weeks long. May. Let's look at it real quick. The exhibition. Skip up to May. It's basically 3 weeks long, so just shy of a month. So we'll be setting up the first week of May, and then the exhibition will happen the 13th through the 26th. I'll be in the gallery performing. I'm going to do 10 drawings a day with I'm going to start with Justin Jones, do his 72, and then transition to Justin Pearson. And the day that I transition, wherever that would be, the 7th day, I guess, 72 or 8th day, it will be the 8th day. So 7, 8, I guess the Monday, the 20th will be, I'll do 11 drawings that day, and then I'll go back to 10 each day. I'm going to force myself to do that, and fingers crossed, nothing gets in the way of me completing. And I suppose if I need to, I can definitely do more in a day if something happens. And I can also, I'll have then 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 more days of buffer just in case. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so that's what's happening. So those are the things I'm working on. Promo starting. I'm really heavily focused on that. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. And so keep an eye out on all that. Share it out if you want to help support. Definitely come to it if you can. Definitely watch the live stream if you can't actually be there. And then, help me with the time. I'm going to need, I don't know. The sessions might be kind of short, so I might not need to worry about food and stuff while I'm in the gallery. But hey, last time I did this, people sent me food and stuff, which was amazing. It was so cool. This is like the coolest thing. It really was. Okay, so that's what's up there. Couple other updates. Just life update. I've been dealing with like this earache thing, which I don't know what's going on there. A couple of weeks ago, I had like a potential ear infection of some kind, so I got antibiotics, but I went through the round of antibiotics and now there's still something going on that hurts sometimes, and I'm hoping it takes care of itself by itself in a way, like drink lots of water and just get rest in a sense, because I don't want to do another round of antibiotics, because I'm the type of person that doesn't believe that that's healthy way to deal with stuff unless it's really bad, because it's bad for the rest of your body, even not just the parts that you're trying to, like, if it has an infection like that. So the antibiotics thing, but I haven't gone back to the doctor for that. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted on that. But the bummer part, the reason I mentioned it is because it's just really frustrating that I'm not feeling like 100% ready to go for school next. It's like I'm like, God darn it. It's just kind of like this little thing that's like, no, you can't just be relaxed. You have to have a pain in your face to deal with, as well as the beginning of the semester. It's kind of like, geez, man. So anyways, that's what's going on there. Another thing, just like this, the month, just like the 3 weeks it was of 4 weeks basically of not being at school. How did that feel? What happened for me was my sleep schedule got really whacked out, and I'm still not quite recovered, but I'm a little bit recovered. Like, I couldn't fall asleep at all until and it's probably partly because I was just home all the time. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't have any money to do anything. So I was just like chilling. I was making my art, doing the things. I finished some artwork. I think I finished my AOC piece before the last time I did one of these. So we already talked about that one. Yeah, we did definitely talk about that one. But then I did these ones. I have this new, because of the way I did these, where I drew 4 of them at a time. So I did 2 days. And I drew 4 drawings and 1 session of a live stream. And I really like how they turned out, and that repetitive doing 4 in a row. The one that you're seeing, those of you that are watching, oh, this is the 5th one. It's not even the last one. That's not even my favorite one. But the last one I did, the 8th and final one, was my favorite out of all of them. I just like, but it's, when I do them, it's going to be interesting when I do them for real. It was great because it allowed me to just start to already process in my brain like how I'll approach it. When I did the Ketanji Brown Jackson one, the first few, I was really nervous. It was part of it, and I was just anxious. So I was just kind of like, let me get through these first ones. But they weren't as solid as the later ones. But I'm also, because I did 116 of those, I've already learned, and that's already affected my way of drawing moving forward. So like, after I do the 141 of these drawings, it'll be interesting to see what I do the next time, how it'll maybe have evolved even a little bit more, because I'm starting these ones with that experience of 116 at one time, and then of course all the drawings and art I've done since then as well. So it's like I'm in a different place artistically than I was like when I started the first day of that 116 drawings of Ketanji Brown Jackson. And I've noticed that when I look at older drawings, I'm like, I see my evolution. I see that I would not draw that way. I would not mark make that way anymore. Or I don't mark make that way. And a case in point, I have a piece of art going out. I sold a piece of artwork off my Etsy shop, which is really cool. Just today, I woke up, looked at my email, and I was like, hey, wait a second, that's from Etsy? What? We actually sold something? So those of you who are watching as well in the background, and I've talked about this before, I have this chart in the background which I divided into 100. Is it 100? Yeah, I guess it would be 100 squares, and 10 rows of 10, and each row represents $1,000 essentially. Each block represents $100. And so my goal is between August of last year and August of this year coming up, I'm trying to make $10,000. That's my goal. And right now we've made 1,000, so I need 9,000 more, but something significant has to shift. My YouTube has to start doing something crazy. My art sales have to start going crazy in order for me to make that goal. But I don't know how that's going to happen, but I'm just trying. I'm trying as best I can, because as we know, I started this whole podcast off with the job itself is not enough. It's not enough. I need to find another way, and hopefully it's a way that doesn't make me want to hang myself when like trying to make money. And it's a way like my art, my gaming, my, other things that I do, my YouTube, that is what will provide for me. So hopefully we can make that happen. And so I was able to put another red square. So I have them divided into 3 color coordinated. Blue represents freelance. So like I've done like video editing and things like that. That's blue. Black is anything YouTube or Patreon or kind of web related like that. I think YouTube and Patreon are really the only 2 places I make any money that way. YouTube right now is bringing in about $150 a month, so that's good. It's been going up a little bit because I did a video where I fixed my Cricut Maker, and that's been a blessing, because that video all by itself, since I published it, which was about a month ago, so last month, it's only been out about a month, is generating about $70 a month. So hopefully that'll continue, and from what I can tell, it's something that should have a pretty long tail until Cricut redesigns the machine, and it doesn't seem like they're going to redesign it anytime soon. So this fix that's needed is still going to be needed for a while, and then it's still going to be needed because even if they do redesign the machine, they're still have a lot of older ones will be out there. So that video should generate some income for me for a while. I've already gotten some comments on it that it's the best video of that fix out on YouTube. People have said, I've watched so many of these and yours is the most clear by far. So I was like, great, that's the point. That's why I made it. So anyways, we got YouTube in black, and then red represents art. And I would love it if it was just like black and red was pretty evenly spread on that kind of chart by the end of it, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But YouTube is clearly winning in a sense right now. But yeah, so that's an update on the chart. Feeling good. I sold some art. It'll go in the mail tomorrow. I packed it up. It's ready to go. It's going to New York. So exciting. It's pretty cool. Thank you. I don't think it's somebody that listens to the podcast, but thank you. And then speaking of the Cricut Maker, I'm wearing, maybe you've noticed by now if you're watching this show, I'm wearing my 2024 Zim t-shirt logo, my Zim logo. Every year I'm going to make a new logo. I did last year's was like this Swiss modern kind of Zim design in a way. And this year I made my own typeface based on, if you saw me talking about the AOC poster I made and the evolution of the typeface I used for that. I made a whole alphabet for that thing, and it was like, oh, let me just use that. So it's kind of like a just do it kind of thing. I'm not thinking too hard about it. Like, I don't want it to be a bird. I don't want to be thinking like, what should I do for my Zim logo this year? And this one just manifested for me. I'm like, I'm just going to use those, and that's what we're going to do. It's this monotype, which means every letter fills the same amount of space. So ZIM. So they're basically squares, and I'm liking how it looks. So it's not yet posted as of recording this podcast, but by the time you listen to it, it should be available on my Etsy shop. So if you want to get one of your own, I'm gonna, $30 for the t-shirts is what I do. I hand make them all because it's vinyl lettering, iron on vinyl. So you can't iron it yourself. Once it's ironed on, you can't iron it again, or else it'll melt it all and it'll be all gross. But you just gotta turn it inside out. Anyways, so that's an update there. Lots of updates. All right, that's about it. All right, getting into the start of the school year. So far this week, we've had 2 days of meetings. We had this professional development day, which I wasn't clear if I really needed to go to or not, but I went to, and I think it's good that I went to. Anyway, because I went to one session about group-based learning, team-based learning. I think there's an acronym, TBL, maybe team-based learning or something like that, which was interesting, but it was way too short to really understand. So it was more like, here's an introduction to the idea. Now you need to go and research it more so you understand it. It was like 40 minutes, and there's just way too much, not enough time for questions or anything like that. So I went to that, and then yesterday was my specific all arts. So the way this school works is music, art, and visual art and theater all are housed in the same building and are kind of the responsibility of the same chair. So it's like, which isn't normal. Like the San Diego State University, all 3 of those were separate, complete autonomous divisions of, the arts. But this school has them all housed under one place, which is interesting. I don't really have I don't know. I think there's a potential for it to be awesome, but it's also like I could see it as well being beneficial to have it more separate, because honestly, what you get in this is, because they are housed, you get this comparison between the 3 programs that's not accurate. They're very unique and different. And so to expect them all, I don't know, there's this weird comparison that happens that is, interesting. I don't know. I at some point I'll probably have to flesh that thought out a little bit more, but that's what they're. So anyways, we had our all faculty meeting for the whole arts department. And then we had our individual visual arts meeting, which were great. It was a lot of, just sitting and listening. Got to tell everybody about my show coming up and things that I've done. Like I was on the Behind the Bearcat podcast, which I told you all about. And I was interviewed by a student for the yearbook this year. So that'll be kind of fun when it comes out. Because another professor mentioned that same thing. They're like, I was interviewed by a student, for the yearbook. And I was like, oh, I did that too. Maybe I should tell everybody. So it's good. It was good because it started to get me back into that schedule. I had to get up early, which is rough, because the second one, the first day I managed to sleep okay. The second one, I couldn't get to sleep till like 4 a.m, and then I had to get up and be at the meeting by 8. And so 4, 5, 6, 7, that's only 4 hours. So I probably slept for like 3 hours that day. So, but I'm pretty sure once I get back into the actual school schedule, because there's a couple of classes that I have to be there fairly early. And so it'll force my body back into, and I'll be exhausted. I'm sure the first week I'll be like, just come home and sleep. But here's the issue that I'm having for myself right now. The biggest issue is, so I prepped all my classes a couple weeks ago, and then I've just been kind of done with it. And I honestly should go back in and look at things just to remind myself, which I will be doing this week. And at the same time, though, what I've learned is like, I need to be in it. And I feel like I probably prepped enough, but I feel like there's a chance where I'm going to be like, oh crap, I'm going to figure this out, because I just didn't know not to prep something that I should have prepped. And I'm just like, but I'm also like, I need to be just back in that whole thing to really feel that kind of like, just to go again. Because right now I'm just in that space, a little bit of that space where I've talked about before. It's different, but it's that kind of like, there's too much to remember. I have no idea until I'm just ready for that moment of, okay, this class is what I'm doing. Oh, okay. Because trying to hold teaching essentially 4 classes, 3.5 in a way. I don't know, 4 classes, I'll just say. I have no idea. It's just kind of like all just a mess until I'm like in the moment. So I got them prepped. I feel confident about it, and I'm just going to go with the flow. But I've also noticed that the way that it's like, I just get it. It's just like, so once I'm in the moment, it all starts to make sense, and it's just fine. And I'm not really stressed about it. That's the thing. It's like, I don't feel as stressed out about it as I think I could, which is fine. It's by me. I'm looking forward to the point, and it'll be more so this way, but looking forward to the point of my professorship kind of way, where it's kind of like the classes take care of themselves. They're like on autopilot, and I get to focus not even 100%, but just my focus is just understanding what each student needs. So I'm not thinking about the lesson plans. I'm not thinking about anything like that anymore, because those are just like, here's what you got to do. And now I just watch and react to the students and go like, okay, this is what they need. They need more of this. And then I shift how I do my work based on them, not trying to prep everything. It's like, okay, here it is, and we'll just go. I'm really excited. To be honest, I'm really excited about the class that I haven't taught this yet, which is advertising design, because I'm teaching it. What my goal is to teach it in a way that really gets the students to express their individual creativity more. And I think at this school right now, there's this kind of disconnect between what it means to be a graphic designer and what it means to be an artist, and that they can be the same thing. But it feels like they just are thinking like they need to make stuff for like this industry. I don't know. I can't even think of the right word for it, but it's like, no, you need to make the stuff that gets you amped, and people will want you for that. And then that you'll be creating the new way of approaching this, not just trying to learn what's already been done. I think is kind of, I mean, there's, obviously you want to know the rule, you want to know certain things, you want to know, but there's not like, you don't want to stop there. You want to go like, okay, now that I know this stuff, let's go and create more. And I've noticed this group of students has, I don't know what it is. I know exactly what it is, but I'm not going to talk about it yet. There's this kind of lack of confidence on the programs like Photoshop and Illustrator and those kind of things. And this class is a senior level, 400 level. You should be really confident in all that stuff by now class. So that's the way I'm going to teach it it's up to you to know what you need to know to figure out how to do the objective. Like my job in this class is, here's the lesson, the objective, but I'm not going to teach you how to do it. You should already know how to use the pen tool in Illustrator or whatever. It's like, I mean, I'll tell you the bigger, like, this is what we're doing, but not like how to do it, if that makes any sense. And so I'm giving them a lot of freedom, though, to do it in a way that they feel the most comfortable. There's only 8 students in the class, so I think it should be fairly easy, as long as they're proactive about saying like, this is my plan, can you help me achieve it? And I'll be, yes, this is what you need to do, let's work on this, let's do this. So anyways, that's kind of what's going on there. And so I don't know, I'm kind of ready, but I'm also okay. And then there's this is the last thing we'll talk about today. I'm looking at my list, making sure I didn't miss anything, but I'm actually like really excited that this is my last semester. There's like, if you've heard that term short timing, when you're about to like stop working somewhere, sometimes you act a little differently. And I'm trying my hardest to not, I know who I am as a person, that I won't just blow anything off and just be like, yeah, whatever. Cause it'll still, like, I still want everybody to speak highly of me. If I want like, recommendation letters and those types of things, for my next jobs. And at the same time, I definitely have there's this feeling like there's less of a pressure in a way. It's like, well, this is it. I'll just get through this semester and then off to the next thing, and one thing I've learned about myself, or where the question I'm asking myself the most right now is, what do I actually want to be a tenure track kind of thing? Because here's the thing. I need to make sure my art practice generates some money. So that needs to happen for anything, for my goals to be able to be achieved with what I want for my life. Because I also think like, and I probably mentioned this before, but I think I would prefer to teach like 2 classes somewhere at a university and not be a tenure track professor and be an adjunct professor, and just teach a couple classes, but kind of have more time to focus on my practice as an artist versus, because this particular school required a lot, and it's structured too much like a 9 to 5. It's just like you're basically there 9 to 5, whatever. You're basically there all. It's like the reason I liked some of this a lot, especially when I taught last year at San Diego State, because I like taught 2 classes that, it was like, it didn't feel like a job, it didn't feel like a job. It just felt fun. It just felt like being an artist that got to share my ability, but it didn't feel like the grind of a job. And the way this one's structured, that's what it feels like too much for me. And I'm hoping that next year, or the next time I do this, next year, wherever I get like a visiting faculty, I'm curious to see what it feels like there, and what they like. Some of these like temporary positions, these 1-year positions, say things like they only have like, you only teach like 2 classes a semester, and then they actually want you to make a body of work and do an exhibition. It's like they kind of treat it differently than they treat it as if you're a full-time there all the time kind of thing. And so I'm looking forward to that. And even if the pay is around the same, it would make more sense for that than what I'm doing now. Like what I'm doing now, the pay is not nearly enough for what it takes to do. Yeah, it's interesting. All right. I think that's it. Well, if you have any questions for me, hopefully you know how to find me. I mentioned it at the top of the podcast, a bunch of that stuff. So I do want to hear from you. Hopefully someday, I don't know. It's the hope of all my content I do is that there's an audience that grows for it. The audience for my content will keep growing. And like, if I had a couple thousand people that like to listen to this podcast, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. And we're here and reacted to it and responded to it and shared it. And same with all my content on all my platforms. If I had like a strong base of like 1,000 people, that would be all you need, right? Thank you so much for the support. And as always, be loving, kind, and patient. And we'll catch up with you again soon. Peace, my friends.